Hello everyone and welcome back to online English class. This is level 2, lesson 19. So next week is the last week of online English class, and next week you will have a test, but don't worry, I will help you study for it. It's not my test, I don't know anything about the test, but good luck.
Okay, so like I said, excuse me, this is level 2, lesson 19, which starts on June 8th. And this is part 1. In this video, we have a warm-up. We will work on lesson C in unit 10, and then we will start unit 10, lesson D. You are probably watching this video between June 8th and June 21st. This video was filmed on June 5th, 2020. And remember, one more time, I'm telling you, not next week, on June 15th, you will have a test. So next week from this video, you will have a test on the week of June 15th. So June 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, you will have a test. Please do this test. It's not my test, but it's for my job. Okay, so the warm-up. The day, or today, is today Friday? I think today's Friday. It's Friday. Every day is the same. It doesn't matter. The date is June 5th, 2020. I'm also writing the date like this. So the date is 06/05/2020. June 5th, 2020. 06/05/2020. Let's look at the weather. Okay, so right now it is Friday at 1 p.m. It is mostly cloudy, so let's just say it's cloudy. The current temperature is 71 degrees Fahrenheit. The precipitation is 15%. So the chance of rain is 15%. The humidity is 97%. So it's very humid right now. There's a lot of water in the air. The wind is going at 4 miles per hour. So it's not a lot of wind, it's just a little wind. So looking at the daily forecast, we see today is cloudy, maybe some rain. The temperature range is between 68 and 83 degrees. So let's write that. The weather is cloudy. There is a 15% chance of rain. How do we get the 15%? The precipitation. Precipitation means rain. There is a 15% chance of rain. I'm going to say it probably will rain today. Why do I know that it probably will rain today? Because it just rained. It was raining when I started this video, but now it's not raining. So I think it probably will rain again. The humidity is 97%. So it's very humid today. There's a lot of water in the air. Today is a little windy. How do I know it's a little windy? The wind today is 4 miles per hour. This is the speed of the wind. So let's talk about precipitation, humidity, and wind. So let's start with a review of precipitation. 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 It's a noun. What does it mean? It means rain, snow, hail. Any kind of water that comes from the sky, that comes from clouds, is precipitation. And then we measure precipitation, or we measure precipitation on a scale from 0 to 100%. We measure precipitation on a scale from 0 to 100%. From 0 to 100%. So at 0, we say there's no rain. And at 100, there's a lot of rain. At 0, there's no rain. At 100%, there's a lot of rain. So we're usually somewhere in the middle. Today, we are at 15%. So it probably will not rain. But I know it will rain again because there's thunder and there's lightning and my windows are it's still raining outside. It's raining right now. So it's raining. It's 15%, so we can say there's probably no rain, but there can be rain. There's rain right now. So humidity. 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 Humidity is water in the air, but you can't see it. You cannot see the water because it's really small, but it's really humid. The air feels wet. We also measure humidity on a scale of 0 to 100, where this is dry air, and this is very wet air. So think of the weather in Miami. It's always wet, it's very rainy. In the air, there's a lot of water. But if you go to Arizona, if you go to the desert, there's no water in the air. It's very dry. We like to be somewhere in the middle. In the middle is comfortable. There's not too much water in the air. But right now we are at 97%, so we are right here. So it's very, very humid. It's very humid. The air is very wet. Okay, and now we talk about wind. We have the wind. So how do we measure the wind? We measure the wind by speed. The speed of the wind. How fast is it going? So with a car, you measure the speed in miles per hour. How many miles can you go in 1 hour? mph, miles per hour. This is the speed of a car. We use the same measurement when we talk about wind. How fast is the wind going? So if the wind is 0 to 5 miles per hour, we can say there's no wind or just a little. There's just a little wind. It's going really slow. So let's say from 5 to 10 miles per hour, there's some wind. We can call this a breeze, a breeze. If the wind is going 5 to 10 miles per hour, this is a breeze. So 5 to 10 miles per hour is how fast you can drive in a parking lot. So when you go to the grocery store, you go to park your car, this is how fast you can drive your car in the parking lot, 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's like you're walking. So we call this some wind, just a breeze. We have 10 to 20 miles per hour. We can say this is strong wind. The wind is going fast. We can say this is strong wind. Or we can say this is windy. It's windy outside. So right now, the wind speed, the current, remember, current is another way to say right now. The current wind speed is 4 miles per hour. The current wind speed is 4 miles per hour. So that means there's no wind or just a little wind today. Okay, now let's review Lesson C in Unit 10. Lesson C, we learned about objects, direct and indirect objects. So, let's use this sentence again. Tim gave Mary a present. Tim gave Mary a present. Tim gave Mary a present. Let's identify the verbs and the nouns. So we identify the verbs and the nouns. What is the verb in this sentence? What is the action? The verb, or the action word, is gave. Okay, now let's identify the nouns. Nouns are a person, a place, or a thing. So Tim is a person, so Tim is a noun. Mary is also a person, so Mary is a noun. Present is a thing, it's a gift, so it's a noun. So our nouns are Tim, Mary, and present. So we identified the verbs and the nouns, the action word and the person, place, or things. Okay, so first, let's look at this. Nouns. We have the nouns. There are two types of nouns. There are subjects and there are objects. The subject is the person or the thing that does the action, the verb. So the subject is the person who is doing the action, the verb. So let's identify the subject. The verb is gave. So who gave? Who is doing this verb? Who is giving? Who gave? The person who gave is Tim. So Tim is the subject. Check. So we identify the subject. The subject is the person or the thing who is doing the verb. So now we have Tim gave. Okay? So now let's identify the objects. The objects are all of the other nouns in the sentence. So in this sentence, we have three nouns. but we already identified Tim. So the other nouns are Mary and present. So Mary and present are objects. Because when we have nouns, we have subjects and we have objects. So, objects, there are two different objects. We have the direct object and we have the indirect object. The direct object answers the what question. Okay, so let's see. We have Tim gave. So we can say, what did Tim give? What did Tim give? The direct object answers the what question. So what did Tim give? Tim gave a present. So the direct object is the present. So we identify the direct object as the word that answers the what question. So what did Tim give? Tim gave a present. Let's identify the indirect object. The indirect object answers the who question. The indirect object answers the who question. So the question is, who did Tim give a present? Who did Tim give a present to? Well, the person he gave the present to is Mary. So the indirect object is Mary. Okay, so we identify the verb is gave. The nouns are Tim, Mary, and present. The subject is Tim. The subject is the person or thing that does the action. So Tim gave. The direct object, it answers the what question. So Tim gave. Tim gave what? Tim gave present. Tim gave a present. The indirect object answers the who question. So, okay, Tim gave present. Tim gave a present. To who? Where? To Mary. Tim gave Mary a present. So the indirect object is Mary. Mary answers the who question. Okay, so now let's talk about the indirect object pronouns. Remember pronouns? The pronouns are I, you, we, they, he, she, it. I, you, we, they, he, she, it. These pronouns are for the subject. We say, I gave a present to Mary, you gave a present to Mary, he gave a present to Mary. These pronouns are for the subject. I, you, we, they, he, she, it. For indirect objects, we use different words. I becomes me. You is still you. We, us, they, them, he, him, she, her, it. So these are the subject pronouns. And these are the indirect object pronouns. Me, you, us, them, him, her, it. So let's look in the book. Let's go to page 127. Page 127. Here, it's right here. Useful language. I, me, he, him, she, her, they, them. It's right here. So, we have an example here for number 1. We have, what did Maria give Daniel? She gave him some balloons. So, let's look at this. She gave him. Who is him? Him is Daniel. So we can say she gave Daniel some balloons. But we changed Daniel to him. We change he to him. Let's look at number 2. Oh, but also let's look at this. We say she. Why do we say she? We say she for Maria. Let's go a little closer. We say she for Maria because she is the one who gives. She is the subject. So we say she gave flowers to him. Let's say, I need more paper. Okay. What did Daniel give Maria? What did Daniel give Maria? Let's use number 2, a card. What did Daniel give Maria? A card. So let's write the answer the same way they write it here. So let's start by writing Daniel gave Maria a card. Daniel gave Maria a card. So in this sentence, we can identify the words. We have the nouns, and we have the verb. The verb is gave. Who gave? Daniel gave. So Daniel is the subject. Okay. Daniel gave. Let's find the direct object. Daniel gave what? What did Daniel give? A card. So this is the direct object. The direct object is card. Daniel gave a card. To who? Who? Maria. So Maria is the indirect object. The indirect object is Maria. Okay? And I want a new piece of paper for that. Let's write the pronouns again. We have subject, pronoun. Oh, I'm missing an... That doesn't look right. Subject pronoun and indirect object pronouns. Subject pronouns, indirect object pronouns. We have I and me. You, you. We, us, they, them, he, him, she, her, it. So these are the pronouns. We have the subject pronouns on the left and the indirect object pronouns on the right. The subject pronouns, these are the pronouns that do the action. So these are the Daniel. Daniel is the subject. Daniel gave. I gave, you gave, we gave, they gave, he gave, she gave, it gave. The indirect objects answer the who question. Who did I give it to? Me. I give it to me. I give it to you. I give it to us. I give it to them. I give it to him. I give it to her. I give it to it. So we have the subject pronouns and the indirect object pronouns. So let's change the subject and the indirect object. Daniel. Daniel is the subject. So let's look at the subject pronouns. Daniel, we say he. He gave. Indirect object, Maria. Indirect object, Maria. We use her. She, her. He gave her a card. So Daniel gave Maria a card. He gave her a card. Let's do Daniel and I gave some cookies Daniel and I gave some cookies to the children. Daniel and I gave some cookies to the children. Okay, I want you to stop the video and write this sentence with the subject pronouns and the indirect object pronouns. Daniel and I gave some cookies to the children. So stop the video and write the sentence. Okay, so let's identify. We have Daniel and I. Daniel and I is the object. I'm going to write them together because of the word and. The verb is gave. Cookies, noun, cookies are a thing. Children, people. Children are people. So, who gave? Daniel and I gave. Daniel and I gave some cookies to the children. So Daniel and I is the subject. You can have more than one subject. Here we have two. Cookies. Cookies answer the what question. So they are the direct object. Because cookies answer the what questions. What did Daniel and I give? We gave cookies. To who? To the children. Because children answers the who question, they are the indirect object. Okay, so Daniel and I. When we have more than one person and we have I, we say we. And this is the subject. So we know we're looking at the subject side. We have we. So Daniel and I becomes we. We gave some cookies to, we gave some cookies to who? The children. We gave some cookies to the children. How many is children? Is it one or more than one? Children is more than one. If we say child, then this is one. But we have children, so there's many. The children is the indirect object. So the indirect object, we say them. The children, them. We gave some cookies to them. We gave some cookies to them. Daniel and I gave some cookies to the children. Okay, let's do one more for practice. Let's say Alex and Shen. Alex and Shen gave flowers Alex and Shen gave flowers to the dog. Alex and Shen gave flowers to the dog. So, I want you to stop the video and identify the subject. I want you to identify the verb, all of the nouns, the subject, the indirect object, and the direct object. All right, so let's identify the verb. The verb is gave. Oh, sorry, wrong sentence. The verb is gave here. Okay, let's identify all of the nouns. Alex, Shen, flowers, the dog. These are all the nouns. So the verb is gave. So who gave? Who's doing the action? Alex and Shen. Alex and Shen are the subject. Okay, Alex and Shen gave what? Alex and Shen gave flowers. So flowers is the direct object. Alex and Shen gave flowers. To who? To the dog. Alex and Shen gave flowers to the dog. So the dog is the indirect object. Okay? So, let's write this with the pronouns. Alex and Shen. We have two people, but there's no I here, so we know we use they for subjects. We use they. Alex and Shen, they. They gave flowers to the dog. The dog, we use it. The dog is the indirect object. We use it. Unless you know it's a boy or girl, then you can say him or her. But I'm going to say it. So, Alex and Shen gave flowers to the dog. They gave flowers to it.